don't you describe what you're doing, Jack?
I'm cutting the valve seats.
All right. And what are we cutting now? We're cutting the final angle for the valve to sit on?
Yeah.
Okay. Once we clear this up and we have a good solid ring all the way around, what are we going to do next?
We're going to put the Smurf glue on.
Well, I think we already have the Smurf glue on the valve, don't we?
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to check it and see where it lands on the valve. And then what are we going to do? If it's good?
If it's good, then we don't have to use this grounding thingamajig.
Then we use the grounding thingamajig to lap it in. If it's not good, what do? We adjust it?
Yeah, and then we use this again so we can adjust it again.
All right, very good. Keep
but then
going.
If we cut too deep,
Push a little bit harder, Jack. It's going to take a little bit more than that. Not much harder, just a little bit. We don't want to damage the valve seat. This is the final angle. Be gentle and don't let it grab, okay? Very good. Let's check that and see if we have good contact all the way around.
I don't see no black line.
So we still have a little bit of black around there. We have to go a little bit further to clean it up. So let's get it cleaned up and then we'll adjust our contact area.
Okay.
Good job, Jack. What are we doing, Jack?
We're lapping the valve.
Very last one on the head. Awesome little project. Very soon to go back on the tractor it came from. One step closer to a running rig. What are we doing today, Jack?
We're bolting the head on.
Very nice. One step closer. Some good compression right here.
Engine works, motor works, and even that round thingamajig works.
That's just it turning over, buddy. Still some pitting there. We'll see if we can take another 10-thou cut and clean that up. We're going to call that good in the area where it needs to seal. We'll hit this with a file, smooth it off, final sand it for a polish, and that should be a good sealing service back in action on this shaft. Rest of the shaft is okay-ish, but this should keep the water out of it for the rest of its time while I'm using it. A little bit of filing and sanding work later, and this has now got a really good chance of sealing. The interesting thing was the shaft was actually an oddball size, and the seal that was on this steering box shaft was a super oddball seal. And since I have a lathe and the seal was no longer available, what I ended up deciding to do was use a, I believe it's a 7/8, so 0.875 by 1.25 seal to reseal the shaft. The water had been getting into the steering box and basically destroyed all the balls. I have new balls on the way, so I can put this back together, but machining down the already pitted surface to an undersized dimension for which a much more standard seal was available seemed like the best approach here to keep the water out of the steering box moving forward on my tractor. So that's what I've done here on the steering shaft. I'm also going to have to modify the shim block and seal retainer because the seal retainer is undersized as well. So I'll bump that up to 1 1/4, and then for the future, should the seal give out again, I've got a really good, easily obtainable replacement for the steering box input shaft, and then I'll be able to go ahead and get it into my tractor and carry on with the finalization and assembly and get this tractor up and running again. Machined a new seal boss in here. You can see the first lip present in there. This is a 1.25 inch ID. I'll go through and just kind of deburr the edge a little bit so that the seal can slide in, but that's the steering seal boss and preload assembly all set and ready to go through and reinstall now with a new seal. Keep the water out of my steering box. Just finished a nice little shop upgrade project here. Sandblasting cabinet was mighty dull. I had smashed one of the lights that I'd previously installed trying to make the cabinet brighter, and it was basically unusable with the dust. So what we have here is a pair of 15-watt recessed ceiling fixtures with 15-watt flood bulbs, LED flood bulbs on the inside. We've wired that up with an outlet and a plug. Go ahead and turn that on, Jack. And the amount of light that's present in there now is pretty awesome. And in addition to that, because we always want to use the vacuum cleaner to keep the dust out of the sandblasting cabinet whenever we're using it, we wired in an outlet as well over to the vacuum, which we can now just turn on straight from there. Jack, go ahead and use it.
Let's see how well it was.
And now, because of how bright everything is, you can still see in there, and it's awesome.
And I don't have to hold it up right up to me.
That you can hold it down low where it'll last a lot longer. That's great work. Really good improvement for that. It only took a couple of hours to get it done. Okay, Jack, make sure it's in neutral. All right, start it up. Dear Santa, for Christmas I would like new sleeves and pistons for my tractor because it's smoking like a chimney.